Hello, fellow fans. I'm Mark. And with me is my co-host, the X-Men in the chair, Brian. What up, Brian?
Does that mean I have brain powers if I'm in a chair and I'm an X-Men?
Brian, I don't think anyone will ever accuse you of having brain powers.
I am balding.
Welcome, everyone, to UWF on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. On the last episode, Brian and I united to review Season 2 of Marvel Studios' What If? Special shout out to the episode before that, where we reviewed 2023 and what we were excited for in 2024. You fans showed up for it, and we had big numbers for it. So thank you, thank you. On this week's episode, Brian and I unite to discuss Marvel Studios' Spotlight show, Echo, on Disney Plus and Hulu. Now put on your Kevin Feige Marvel hat as UWF starts now.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Football is life.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
This is the way.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Hello, fans. Thank you all for uniting with us as we talk about all things fandom here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Please give us a rate or review wherever you listen so we can unite with more fans out there. Follow UWF on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter to have more fun with us and to stay up to date on everything United We Fan. Brian, in World United We Fan news, the Golden Globes happened. I honestly forgot about it until you texted me letting me know that Robert Downey Jr. won. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I just put RDJ with an exclamation point. You're like, huh?
I was so scared. I don't know why. I thought something bad happened.
That's the world we live in now.
I know. I was scared. Did you enjoy the show? The host, I watched clips of that. He did not do well, and he did not respond to it well.
I've never heard of Joe Coy. Who is he?
He's stand-up comedian. I've seen some clips here and there.
Man, he looked uncomfortable telling jokes. That was interesting. I was critical of Taylor Swift, saying she needs a little more sense of humor, but I saw that one clip out of context, and he had multiple other jokes that bombed before that. So yep. I take back what I said. She still could have been nicer, I suppose, but she's a meme everywhere she goes. So I suppose that's what she was aiming for.
You leave Taylor alone, Brian. So I don't know when, but I stopped really caring about the Golden Globes. Bring on the Oscars. Actually, coming soon will be the Oscar nominations, and
Golden Globes are dead to me because Across the Spider-Verse did not win animated film.
That one hurt when I saw that. I think that's when I said, never mind, I don't want to see the rest. But good on Christopher Nolan. He won Best Director, rightfully so.
What is it that won animated film? It's the film by that Studio Ghibli guy.
Yep. The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, that one. No thanks.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't gotten a chance, Brian. As you know, I've been behind A-list. Thank you. I will be maxing you out for the foreseeable future. So I'll get back to you whenever I see that one. So, but I think that also means bad news for Across the Spider-Verse possibly getting a Best Picture nomination. So
I hope so. That'd be cool.
It's such a great movie. Brian, I did bring up that I'm catching up on my movies. I have seen some recently. I saw the Iron Claw, the wrestling movie. It is in my top 10 for the year. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, in all fairness, you haven't seen 10 films, so everything's in the top 10 at the exact moment.
I hate you. It is in my top 10 films of 2023. Is that better?
That is better.
Thank you. Based on a true story, it will body slam your emotions, but really good. Zac Efron is great in it. The ensemble cast, brilliant. Not as great. I saw Poor Things with Emma Stone.
Not as great.
Did
you say not as great?
Not as great.
People
Actually,
like that movie, man.
No, I know. I think it actually won the Golden Globe for best musical or comedy. Um, I There's really good parts to it. Emma Stone is brilliant in it. Mark Ruffalo is actually very funny in it. Willem Dafoe is good in it. But as a film, Brian, I was bored. I couldn't wait for it to be over. I don't want to say it's a bad movie,
It's
but
2.5 hours.
yeah, believe me, I know, Brian. I checked and I was like, oh my God, we so much movie left. And people walked out of it. Several people walked out of it. The elderly crowd in the theater did not appreciate that movie. And man, did they have comments throughout it. It almost felt like a Mystery Science Theater. So um Poor Things gets a rare, not great review for me. So Brian, are you even gonna watch it?
I honestly was. I mean, Emma Stone, man, I love her, but
Oh, I love her too.
this
Celebrity crush.
this is shocking.
Yeah.
You don't
no.
usually like this. I mean this in the nicest way possible. You don't usually go totally against the critics. Like usually when a film is critically acclaimed, you can at least find something about it that you like. That's really surprising.
Oh man, there have been some lately, but yeah, no, I couldn't wait for it to end. Um, Man, probably the funniest thing is 30 minutes in, a guy in the theater, I guess his girlfriend or friend, um, suggested the movie, and he just leaned over and goes, "The hell kind of movie did you take me to?"
So pretentious Oscar bait, if there ever was one, huh?
It I'm not a fan of the director. He's gotten a lot of love for like The Favorite and Lobster. I'm not too big on him. Just I definitely think it was 45 minutes too long.
That's a lot of extra time.
Yeah. So, but Emma Stone, great performance, definitely nomination worthy. Not my winner, but nomination worthy. And like I said, Ruffalo is hilarious in it. So,
Wow, this is really surprising to hear.
wow.
Wow.
Let's see. I checked out Gran Turismo on the Netflix. That is where I learned how to correctly pronounce that Gran Turismo, and also
Nissan.
Nissan. Thank you. Who? Yeah. Who? I know. Apparently I didn't
Dislife
pronounce it.
Mark, who we share this platform with, said Gran Turismo is incredible.
So I watched it. It definitely has some predictable sports movie cliches. I watched it, enjoyed it, and then I like moved on, and I thought about it the next day and I go, I want to watch it again. So it grew on me that quickly. It went from enjoyed it to really, really liked it. So I actually highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Interesting.
So based on true story as well.
Loosely.
Yeah, loosely. Yeah. I mean, even the Iron Claw changed a couple of big factors. They kept most of the story intact, but yeah, loosely. Good call. Brian, I saw the Iron Claw, which has the bear in it, and I was like, okay, Brian's gonna be so proud of me. I'm gonna start the bear. I didn't start the bear, Brian. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. I'm currently in the middle of Letter Kenny on Hulu.
Oh, I okay. I'll allow it.
It is hilarious. I'm getting it at the right point. Um, I get vibes of like what Parks and Rec, Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's Canadian
Schitt's
Parks
Creek.
and Rec.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I'm glad it's a lot of seasons. There's not a lot of episodes in a season, which I'm fine with.
Squirrely Dan.
So,
Long live Squirrely Dan.
I recently went to an Orlando Solar Bear match, and
They're called games
refs,
in hockey, by the way. They don't call them matches in hockey.
What?
I promise.
Is it really?
Yeah. I saw on
All
your Instagram story you called it a match, and I was gonna mock you, and you just gave me the chance.
Oh, thank you. Listeners, go ahead. Man, somebody else called it a match. Anyways,
Who's
the ref
winning
did something.
the match?
the ref did something at the hockey game, and I yelled out, "Shorzy, good job!" I felt really proud.
Now you know where the guy from Mighty Ducks Game Changers that coached the Ducks got his acting start.
Oh my god, I kept trying to figure out where he was from.
That's Riley.
Yeah,
Letterkenny's
Yep.
funny, man.
really like it. But yeah, shout out to the Orlando Solar Bears. That was my first time at one of their games. We were about 3 rows from the opponent's penalty box. That was pretty great. Fun environment, one of the funnest crowds I've ever been to at a local sporting event. So Solar Bears, keep it up. Great job. I can't wait to go back. In breaking college football news, the legend Nick Saban is retiring. I guess the game has just changed too much for him, and
No, he's just 72 and he's done. It doesn't change.
No.
It clearly hasn't changed that much. He just made the playoff.
playoffs.
And it's going to get even easier to make the playoff going forward.
It's true. I don't know. Do you think there's a chance he might say, "Never mind, I'm coming back"?
No, not at this point. I think
Yeah.
if he were to go anywhere, I don't know. Him and Bill Belichick, maybe they'll do like a television show together. That'd be riveting television.
Ooh, as long as they have Waldorf and Statler as guest hosts, the Muppets and them, I'd watch that.
They are Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Michigan won the college playoffs, although I'm happy that it's over. We don't have to hear about it until next season when someone else is bringing it up to complain. So, wasn't that great of a game? Yeah.
It was a good 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, Washington ran out of gas.
I checked it out in between periods. That's when I was at the Orlando Solar Bears match.
They're called quarters. In hockey, they're periods, but in quarters. Oh, no, you had it right. You checked it out in between periods of the hockey game. Yeah, you had that right. That's my bad.
Thank you. So, look, I'm trying to get back into hockey. Okay.
What came first? Getting back into hockey because of the Solar Bears, or started watching Letterkenny? That might be where it's coming from.
Okay. I watched one episode of Letterkenny. And then I got sidetracked by Jack Reacher. And then I went to the Orlando Solar Bears, and I thought to myself, I want to watch something hockey. So I was about to put on Miracle or Mystery Alaska. And then I said, no, this would be a great time to put on Letterkenny. So then the Solar Bears got me into it.
One more piece of news not in the college football world, but the actress Caitlin Dever, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. She played Tim Allen's daughter on Last Man Standing. She also was in Booksmart. She has been cast as Abby in season 2 of The Last of Us. And if you know anything about those video games, you know that Abby is probably going to be one of the main characters in season 2 of The Last of Us. But that means that show's moving forward. That is going to be exciting.
I caught her in that Hulu Alien movie. She was really great in that. She's great in Booksmart. I'm all for it. So I'm not familiar with the game, so I don't know if she's perfectly cast, but as an actress, she's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's a perfect choice for Abby. I'm excited about it. And am I allowed to break more news?
Break away.
Jon Favreau will be helming a Star Wars film titled The Mandalorian and Grogu. I hope that it goes through. I hope that it goes through a name change of any sort. It has to go through a name change. They're also claiming that season 4 is also still in development. I assumed the movie to be Disney's strategy to push theatrical release and increase revenue rather than do season 4 of The Mandalorian. Either way, in that same article, they also said that Dave Filoni's film is still coming, while he is also working on creative development of season 2 of Ahsoka, which means we need at least one more season of Ahsoka plus a movie of The Mandalorian and Grogu to set up the eventual Dave Filoni film, Heir to the Empire.
And they're also actively working on the new Rey Skywalker saga.
Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy is on that film. It was supposed to star Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who has since left the project.
Not great.
Nope.
What is the next Star Wars project that we're going to get? Do we know?
What is?
Yeah.
It's going to be probably Skeleton Crew starring Jude Law. And that is probably not going to be until the end of this year. It was supposed to be soon. Then it got pushed back. We have Andor season 2 still coming. Its final season. And then Ahsoka 2. But I mean, it's just concept art at this point, so we're still a ways away for that one.
Yeah. Some great entertainment news. Last sports news. The Dodgers bought another player. I'm waiting for them to buy United We Fan and defer the payments. But
I'll take that.
yeah, it makes me just like the Dodgers have spent like just shy of what every other team has spent this offseason. But anyways, that's baseball.
My Rockies are not. They have not spent a single dollar, so you could remove them from the equation and stay the same.
True. When this episode comes out, the NFL playoffs will be starting. My Saints couldn't get a break. God, I don't even want to talk about them. But go Bills. That's who I'm pulling for this playoff season.
Bills Steelers is the only first round matchup that isn't even mildly intriguing. The playoffs are set up to be a lot of fun. I can't believe the Steelers are in the playoffs. They're so awful.
Same with I was surprised the Packers made it.
Before the season, I picked Bills Niners, but I picked Bills over Niners. I'm switching to an extent. I'm picking Niners over Bills.
No.
What about you?
Man, the Ravens are looking good. They're going to give the Bills a run for their money.
Ravens are insane. They're so good.
Who's in the NFC?
Niners, Cowboys.
Nope.
Third seed, Lions. Buccaneers, Eagles.
Yeah.
Packers, and Rams.
I'm going to go Bills over Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles are playing like poo-poo.
Yeah, I think they're just...
It'll be hilarious when they lose in Tampa on Monday.
Oh my God, that'll just irritate me more. So we'll find out. We'll get back to you. Don't listen to me. Brian's definitely smarter when it comes to sports. I hurt the teams I love. So, yeah.
That's the problem is you just can't love them. You're only supposed to love one team.
I'm
going to say that now.
Feeling hot.
Oh, okay.
You're an adult. This is not just you. This is everybody. You get one favorite team. You don't get to have an AFC team and an NFC team. Like, you get one favorite team, and then you can have rooting interests on other teams because you like their player or you lived in that city or whatever. But you don't get to have two favorite teams.
All right. In my defense,
I wasn't calling you out.
I know. I do only have one team I love in each sport.
Yeah. Red Sox, Saints.
Yeah.
And you don't care about other sports.
Whoa.
Are you a Magic fan?
No. I'm a Rockets fan. The Pelicans are there, but I've been a Rockets fan since Akeem Olajuwon was there. Hockey, I got into the game of hockey because of the Mighty Ducks movies, so the Anaheim Ducks are my team. Of course, Orlando City is my MLS team. Liverpool is my Premier League team.
Again, you can have rooting interests for X, Y, or Z reasons, but the people that are like online they're my favorite team in the NFC.
I know. I got you.
It drives me crazy.
I've heard people in like baseball go, well, that's my American League team. My National League team is this.
Yeah.
My Quidditch team is the Chudley Cannons. Let's see. What else is there?
It's a made-up word.
No, it's not. Every word is made up.
There you go.
But okay, let me rephrase it then so I don't press the Bryan button. I love the Saints. I'm really enthusiastic for the Bills.
It's fair because you have
Go Bills.
personal interests in the city of Buffalo.
Plus Josh Allen, he's just so lovable. His commercials are funny.
He's lovably frustrating.
How dare you? Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Before we get any more off the rails, let's take a moment to listen to our sponsors.
Hey guys, Diz Life Mark here, and I want to tell you all about the official travel partner here at Chip & Company. Let our good friend Sarah at Destination to Travel help you plan your next Disney vacation. Sarah specializes in planning dream vacations for your family. She's an authorized Disney vacation planner, and she can help with every step of your magical vacation. The best thing is that her services are 100% free. Want to travel beyond Disney? Sarah has you covered there too. Want to find out more? Fill out a trip request form over at the website at Chip & Co. or email her directly at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. Start planning that dream vacation today. Email her at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com.
Let's talk about Echo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This episode is about Echo. So on Disney Plus and Hulu, the new Marvel Studios Spotlight Echo. Before we get into spoilers and non-spoilers, we're going to start off with the short non-spoiler review. So that way, if you haven't finished, we're going to give a very vague review of it, followed by a big warning when we go into spoiler territory. But first, Brian, what exactly is Marvel Studios Spotlight?
So Marvel Studios Spotlight, to me, this is not 100% confirmed. The actual definition of the Spotlight series is going to be more grounded, very focused on a character you don't know very well, just kind of expanding their story. I think that the way around with the way the new CBA is written for the Writers Guild is this is their biggest entry point into a limited series. That being said, because it's got all these rules around multiple seasons and stuff like that, Marvel Spotlight is not going to have all those rules. Basically, what Marvel Spotlight is going to tell you is, hey, this probably isn't going to play a massive, massive role in the rest of the MCU, but it's expanding a character that we have introduced in another way and can spin off from here. But ultimately, we're going to tell you what you need to know if you don't watch this series. That's how I take Marvel Spotlight.
Do we know what the next Spotlight is, or not yet?
I don't
know how this goes.
I don't think so. I think they're seeing how this goes, but again, two, since the new writers CBA has been signed, I think this is kind of that way they could get away with doing a limited series and not break any rules.
Brian, by the way, I've breaking news. I've updated my Instagram post to the Solar Bears game. It's no longer Solar Bears match. I just wanted you to know. Breaking news.
Soccer match, hockey game.
I'm sorry. I failed you. All right. So Echo just premiered all 5 episodes. My quick review is it learned from the mistakes of previous Marvel TV series, cleaned up storytelling, overall art, and got rid of the annoying characters where storylines went nowhere. Something fresh. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. It was a very enjoyable show.
It's far from perfect. But that doesn't mean it's not worth watching, in my opinion,
right.
Especially with the amount of care they took to work with the Choctaw tribe and everything that they did to make sure that they were representing cultures and representing that tribe how they wanted to. Actually was, you could tell they did their homework and really had a lot of consultants to make sure that they were covering that the best they could. They use silence to their advantage throughout this series because the character is deaf. It actually has a lot of impactful moments that are completely void of anything, which this is not a background show if you want to grasp what's going on, because you do have to read a lot and stuff like that, because not only is the actress portraying a deaf amputee, but she is a deaf amputee. So it's providing her an opportunity to get into this world, to kind of be herself, for lack of a better term. And it's really well done. I think, and this is a character we've met before. She was in Hawkeye, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say the first half of the first episode, if you didn't watch Hawkeye or haven't watched Hawkeye in a while, it's catching you up on who this character is of Maya Lopez and where we stand. I think that was necessary 25 minutes worth the extra time in the longest episode, which is the first one. Outside of that, it tells a very tight, grounded story, which I really, really enjoyed, while also opening up the future, which we'll talk about, because that post-credit scene means a lot. So we're gonna kind of spin it off from there. But the visuals, the fight scenes, it's not Daredevil on Netflix level of violence or gore, even though it kind of seemed like that was originally the case. I don't think it really earned its TVMA rating at any point.
We'll get to that when we get to spoilers. There was definitely some
one or two
not Disney Plus going on there.
Yeah, one or two, but it wasn't like Daredevil.
No. Yeah.
So I would say the second worst thing from a gore and violence standpoint was actually shown in a trailer. So, but overall, this is my non-spoiler review. If you liked Hawkeye, I think you'll really like this show. It's different than anything Marvel Studios has done. It's a lot more grounded. It does follow some of the same formulaic things, but I can see why it was 6 or originally 8 episodes and why it became 5, because I think there was a lot more loose end storylines that they just completely cut out. And I think the series is stronger because it's 5 episodes.
Yep. All right, Brian, let's get it. We're into spoiler territory. Listeners, you have been warned. If you have not finished episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to spoil it all for you of Disney Plus and Hulu's Marvel Studios Spotlight Echo. Brian, I mean, starting off the bat, you had what felt kind of like elemental-ish with the tribe. It got a little risque. I was quite surprised how risque they went for Disney Plus, and it was definitely violent. It was like there were several beatdowns, but I agree with you. Didn't quite reach Netflix level. I don't think they want to go Netflix just yet, but you can tell they're dipping their toe in the water.
Speaking of Netflix Marvel, did you notice on Disney Plus that those shows are in the timeline order now? Like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Defenders, Punisher, they're all like in the proper MCU timeline, which is surprising. I don't personally believe they all took place, nor do I call them essential viewing. But but anyway, like
with you.
So we started out by meeting Chafa, who is, so let's talk about this. The first 3 episodes, we start the episode by diving into Choctaw ancestry. Did you understand what was going on, that they were her ancestors, or did you think, I was thinking like possible reincarnation was something that they were going with, but did you figure out fairly easily that that's what they were doing?
No, I thought they were just chosen female leaders over time. I didn't know they were all descendants.
Okay, sounds good. Because I thought I thought they were trying to go like full blown reincarnation route, and that's not what happened. But we learn quite a bit about, real quick, how Maya, 1, lost her leg, 2, when her mother passed away. We meet the family in a flashback sequence. I think it told you everything you needed to know, and it didn't tell you anything else you did, or it didn't have a bunch of extra fluff. And I think most of the show, that's the case. It had a purpose to be in the show, and that's why it was still there.
Oh, shout out. If you listen to our 90s episode, you know I am a fan of the movie Dances with Wolves. And I definitely geeked out with Graham Greene and Tonto Cardinal, the married couple in Dancing with Wolves who helps Kevin Costner. They are also a married couple in this show. So that was a geek moment for me.
That's what they're from.
Yeah.
Oh, see, do you think they stayed married? Because when she comes back to visit the pawn shop, like, I'm not positive they stayed married.
I think they were on a break.
Okay, fair.
And it looks like they'll be ending their break.
Yeah, no, it does feel like that. We do learn that Charlie Cox, Daredevil, or excuse me, Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox, Daredevil.
Yeah.
He was not blipped because all that stuff took place during the blip.
Yeah.
When Maya learns her capabilities. Yeah, like I think this show had a lot more Daredevil in its first run. Which I think part of the show getting cut down to 5 episodes did cut out Daredevil, and I can't say that that's a bad thing.
No, I love Daredevil. It's one of my favorite shows. But I already know a lot of people are going to be upset that he's only in one episode, people, and it's only in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
Yeah, the most. And it's in the first 15 minutes of the show.
You got to remember, this is not Echo and Daredevil. It's not Echo co-starring Daredevil. This is Echo's story. Yes, Wilson Fisk is a main character or a big character, no pun intended. But
yeah, because of the influence he has in Echo's life, that has nothing to do. Like, Echo works for Wilson Fisk. Like, Echo doesn't. There's no reason she should have run-ins with Daredevil. Because she's not, yeah. I mean, unless she was doing jobs within Hell's Kitchen that he's trying to stop.
I think it would have been another mistake of the MCU doing cameo porn and just trying to get another character in there and forcing it. No, you didn't need to. That little fight sequence was great to see what she's capable of, and also just to give us a look at his suit, which is always beautiful.
Just a little bit more about the show. Again, if you're kind of listening to this without having watched the show to try and understand what's going on, there's things we're going to talk around, and we're not going to be able to connect all plot points for you. We do recommend you watching the show. Shout out to the actress Devery Jacobs, who played the character of Bonnie, who was the firefighter, and Maya's best friend cousin. She was the voice of Kahori in Marvel Studios' What If Season 2.
I forgot all about that.
So we learn at the end of the first episode that Kingpin has survived being shot in the face. As much of a surprise to Maya as anybody else. Not a surprise to any of us, but obviously that was going to be a big part. But Henry, the character of Henry, her uncle that runs the skate rink, I think he was the best character in the show. Chasky Spencer is the name of the actor. I think he was a really great character. I really enjoyed his character throughout the show, and the skate rink was actually a great place to have a lot of the show take place.
Yeah. That fight scene that took place there, of course, with Rob Zombie's song, I thought that was great.
When the Rob Zombie song was awesome.
That was a good needle drop.
I do not know how they didn't know that Vicky guy that was the skate guy was not dirty, because you could tell he was dirty immediately.
I will admit that storyline was, I wonder if that one was a longer storyline and they just trimmed it down, but all of a sudden he does that. Oh, I've worked with him for years. Okay, well, he sold you out, and then he has these two mysterious accomplices. So I don't know.
I think they were both his sisters, right?
Was it sisters?
I think that's what they said.
Oh,
That's a small white trash Oklahoma town, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Brian, you brought up, is he on your Rushmore of characters for the show?
Henry, he is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who else is making it?
My Mount Rushmore of characters in this show. I'm going to go with Henry. I'm going to go with Biscuits. I think Biscuits was a great character. Loved him. Can he run over vans and then nobody can get out of the van and use their guns? Yep. Maybe not, but that's okay.
You know they showed that in the preview? I went back.
No.
And they showed it in like the second preview, and I go, man, kind of a spoiler.
I love how he sold his PlayStation 4 for $100 and now it has a monster truck. So if we're gonna go just straight up characters from the show, Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of Wilson Fisk Kingpin, spot on. I think it's such a great character, and the complicated relationship that he has with Maya, and then when he's on that airplane, finds out that she's not coming with, and he snaps. Really, really well done. Side note, the technology of the contact lens that he puts in Maya to then show his sign language, really cool. I thought that was fun. While watching the show, I did put a note down saying, imagine putting on your resume Kingpin's ASL interpreter, and then that poor woman got it rough.
That kind of upset me a little bit. So
they made a point to show her every time, because in Hawkeye, like, you're like, how does she know everything that Wilson Fisk is saying? And now, well, you learn where the interpreter went.
Yeah.
So
I'm
gonna go with Henry. I'm gonna go with Kingpin. I'm gonna go. I think Alaqua Cox's portrayal of Maya Lopez Echo was absolutely fantastic, and I'm gonna go with Tantu Cardinal in Chula, the grandma.
I got Biscuits on there.
He's the best. I love Biscuits.
Wilson. Yeah, I love Biscuits. Like right away when his introduction, I go, "You're a lovable sidekick character, and I'm okay with it."
You're our version of Luis.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna have Scully on there. You have Cardinal on there, but I'm gonna go with her former husband, Graham Greene. I thought he was great in the pawn shop with the tourists. That made me laugh really hard. Alaqua Cox, I think she was brilliant. The way she conveyed her emotions, the way she did action very well. Being a Marvel character is not easy, and she stepped up and kicked butt. So that's my Rushmore of characters.
She's got a real Rosa Diaz look to her too.
9-9!
You didn't think Uncle Henry was Mount Rushmore worthy, huh?
No, I said that.
Okay, I must have missed that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, I got Echo, Biscuits, Scully,
and Henry.
Oh wow, okay. His name is Scully, and Wilson Fisk.
9-9. The grandpa's The Natives Beatles shirt made me laugh every time it was on screen.
I didn't catch that at first, and then I go, "What's on his shirt?"
It was in like 3 different episodes. He's very capable. The leg that he builds is really cool. But let's talk about the main action sequences. Let's start in sequential order. One, I want to talk about the lacrosse game at the beginning of the second episode. That was really cool. I thought that was really fun. That wasn't for you, huh?
Cool concept, but there was acting moments in it, and just kind of the way it was shot took me out of it, and I was kind of annoyed.
I liked it. I thought it was the point of it came across to me. I can see what you're saying. I thought it was kind of fun.
It should have been a really good scene. I wanted it to be, but there was some shots where it looked really bad.
That is fair. That's fair. And then we talked about the skate rink being kind of essential to the plot point of her getting locked up and everything else. It was kind of weird. Oh, but before we get to the skate rink, let's talk about the train scene.
Oh man, the filmmakers of Indiana Jones 5 could have learned something on how to do a really great action scene on a train.
So you like this? You like this scene, huh?
The train scene is on my Rushmore of favorite scenes for the season.
Okay. So everything about it felt very Spider-Man Homecoming for me, with the Vulture trying to kind of break into things. I like how, again, grounded and using real world tools and everything was. Like, obviously she's super capable, and everything that she can do probably isn't real. Like, well, not probably, it's not real, but like everything else with the drill and the saw and all that kind of stuff, it made good sense. I thought she was actually stealing something out of the crate and not just placing a bomb. So I thought we were eventually going to figure out what she had stolen, but apparently nothing.
I was also a little confused, but also, man, I laughed when Biscuit drove past Mom and the truck was falling apart.
He just kept driving, the bumpers hanging off.
Yeah.
But the thing about the train sequence is when she's getting out of there and her leg gets caught in the hitch. That's a weird time to find out that she's got like magical superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one part of this series that kind of, I don't think it took me out of it, but I didn't expect her to have like legit like Doctor Strange magic superpower stuff.
To be honest with you, I'm still not exactly sure what her powers are.
Healing, I think, is the main part, or super strength apparently, to be able to get her leg out of that hitch, but
I picked up on the healing. But
just picture Qui-Gon Jinn just with his hands on his hips. But I like that was an odd time to introduce a supernatural thing to this series. And it was really the only supernatural thing that we really dealt with other than the ancestral flashbacks and stuff like that.
I don't think it came off as life threatening that this power would awaken. I think that's maybe what it was for me.
So the train scene was cool though. I liked it. The next one is the skating rink, the fight scene in there. Probably the most violent fight scene of the show. Make America
What's his
Skate.
name, Alexis or whatever, or Kelly. No, what was the bad guy, or the traitor's name?
Vicky.
Thank you. Man, his death was brutal.
Yeah. And they put that in like this end of episode 1 trailer for the rest of the season.
They did.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I still feel bad for the interpreter, man. Before we talk about more of Echo, let's take a moment to listen to our sponsors.
Is Disney World home to you? Realtor Victor Naraki can help make it a reality. Realtor Victor Naraki specializes in making your Disney home dreams come true. Second homes, investment homes, retirement, relocation. With Victor's input, he will show you the home opportunities that you don't get to see as a tourist. Imagine being at the park in minutes, walking around the World Showcase for daily exercise, watching the fireworks in your own backyard, or having Disney Springs as your local mall. Have you ever heard of Windermere, Winter Garden, Horizon West, Dr. Phillips, Claremont, Lake Nona, or Disney's own Celebration and Golden Oak? Victor will introduce you to these communities, which are just minutes to the magic. Stop imagining a Disney life and start living your dream today. Call Victor at 407-340-9375. And don't forget to mention that you heard all about Victor here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Head over to celebratingflorida.com and start living your magical life today.
But the beginning of this one was cool. It was the black and white 4:3 ratio and the girl, the light horseman. I thought that was really fun as well.
I loved it. Yep.
I thought that was cool. There's a lot of good stuff that they had in there. Again, working closely with the Choctaw tribe.
My one gripe about the light horseman, I don't know if I'm just that big of a nerd, but it looked like they shot it with a digital camera. They did not make it look like an old-timey film, and I wish they would have.
Well, I mean, they tried. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, though.
Black and white filter. No, you could tell it was. Yeah, make it grainier.
Yeah, it wasn't grainy enough. They tried to make it grainy, but they didn't.
No.
But the shots of people going through the glass and getting the camera angle shot down into the claw machine or right on top of the pinball machine, I thought that those shots were really cool.
That was great.
Them coming through the wall that said "Make America Skate Again" made me laugh every time I saw it in the trailer or in the show. But the ski balls straight to the face, like that would suck. That was probably the most violent part of the show. I thought it was executed pretty well, all things considered.
Great fight sequence. It's like I said, the train and the roller rink fight sequences are both on my Rushmore.
Them basically just about to die, with the guy then just getting a phone call from Kingpin saying it's over. Don't touch
you knew
them.
it was Kingpin. You knew it was him.
Yeah, and Henry knew it was Kingpin too, but Echo was still just not buying it at all. But I mean, you knew it was Kingpin. Showed up for Sunday dinner on a Thursday night. Again, they put that
With
contact,
an expensive bottle of wine.
They put that she dumps down the sink, and he's like, "Well, why did you do that?" The contact lens showing the ASL was actually really cool. I liked reminding you enough that they showed that how it worked. Then just at the end, she then had to rely on Bonnie. So at some point, the contact lens came out. I thought the contact lens was going to have a way for Kingpin to like track her.
I was like, maybe he put like some kind of kill switch in it or something. Like it would. I thought there was going to be more to that.
I expected him to be able to like tap in and like see what she was seeing, where he could be like that dude on TikTok where you just get like a quick glimpse of a mountain and you can find out immediately where they are. The name Echo had escaped me for quite a while, and then in the 4th episode, Generations Echoing Through Time, it's like, oh, so she's literally channeling her ancestors to then, and then we had like a very Rey Skywalker moment at the end where it was not only her but all generations of her family like all standing against Kingpin and fighting with their powers, even though it was just her. I don't think Kingpin could see anybody else. She tries to heal him, and that didn't work either.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand. Like, were they there? Could anyone else see them?
I don't think so. I think it was just her able to see them. But Grandma and Bonnie also are able to channel those powers too, because their hands glowed. So that's like the one thing that like I'm not all the way there. Like it just is what it is.
It's metaphorical.
But Kingpin, I thought he got arrested. I was confused because he was being like escorted to the back seat of a Cadillac Escalade, and then the cops show up. By the time we got to the post-credit scene, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and then I learned kind of what happened. But overall, the only thing I'm critical of is the glowing hands and her attempt to save him actually not doing a dang thing.
That was kind of rushed. It's, what did you do to me? What did you do to me? Okay, here comes his men. Grab him. He's in the car. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, so did you try? That just felt like very quick.
I talked about the show being formulaic. You cannot have a Marvel Studios show apparently without a suit in the final episode. What did you make of Echo's final suit?
I thought it was very unique, very pretty. In the same way that Shang-Chi, it's not over the top. I love the little details into it. I don't know exactly how practical it's going to be moving forward when she does battle, but I think for when it's unveiled and it's at the powwow, I think that was a great way to introduce it.
Yeah, I think so too, especially the way she found it and getting closure in that conversation with her mom. I thought that was really well done.
I felt really bad. I didn't know who that was at first, and then she said mom, and I go, oh, that's her mom. Okay.
Her mom and Bonnie kind of had a pretty similar look, so
Thank you.
I can see
thought
what
it
you're
was
saying.
Bonnie, and I didn't want to say that out loud. I thought it was Bonnie. I go, oh, how did Bonnie get there? Oh no, it's not Bonnie.
No, Bonnie was being held captive. I do love that Biscuits just kind of lets that guy park his RV, even though he's not supposed to. Biscuits is like,
you
no,
waved off Biscuit, and then he was so sad with his dog.
Billy Jack. Yeah, Billy Jack was awesome. But other than that, like again, the hand glowing thing is the only thing that really caught me off guard that I just didn't know. I don't know. Like everything felt so grounded except for that.
Yeah, and then the beginning with the Eternals type vibe going on there, I was hoping we'd get clarification. Okay, they got their powers. Okay, she protected her people and came. I don't know. I needed maybe a little more clarification on that.
But other than that, I do love how she shows up in town and says, "Don't tell anybody I'm here," and then the entire town knows she's in town for. It takes about 8 seconds, which is a very small town feel.
Yep.
Growing up in that type of small town, I can understand that.
Brian,
But
are you saying you're a small town girl living in a lonely world?
yeah,
Took the midnight train.
going anywhere. But out of 10, I would give this show. I would rather watch this show than a few others. I from an enjoyment standpoint, I would rather watch this show again than What If Season 2. And I like What If Season 2, but I think the staying power of this one, I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
I'll definitely be watching this one again.
I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10.
I'll go with that. I think I gave it. No, I gave it I was feeling 7.5 out of 10. Obviously, it's easily better than Secret Invasion, which is the worst Marvel Studios project. But
well, again, this one was grounded, and that was anything but.
No, that had, anyways, a lot of problems. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a much needed change as Marvel, quote unquote, goes for quality over quantity and starts going back to the drawing board. I think this is a really good step.
Perfect show for a binge drop, because I don't think this would have had the staying power to keep people coming back for 5 weeks. I think this was the right show to drop 5 at a time. And let's talk about what the post-credit scene means. Kingpin's on his plane to get out of town, and he's watching news coverage of the mayoral race in New York. They're talking about how there's just nobody gritty enough to lead the city of New York. We're definitely getting Mayor Fisk in the Daredevil Born Again comic run, because Daredevil Born Again is the next series that's coming out. Should be this year. It might be before Deadpool, but Deadpool's probably the next MCU project we're getting.
Yeah, as soon as the guy, I did hate how obvious it was with the news anchor going, the city needs a brawler. It needs a tough, not normal politician.
I just think that's how New Yorkers talk, though. Dude, the Born Again comic run with Mayor Fisk, it's so good. The fact that we're confirming getting Mayor Fisk is a big deal. Born Again's going to be good.
It's going to be great. I think that was a great touch. I think that was also a good credit scene or lead into a future project that is actually going to have value and is not just an endless, or not endless, but a dead end. So I like that.
Well, it's not only is it leading into something, it's leading into potentially the very next thing.
Yes. Brian, do you have a Rushmore of scenes for the season?
We didn't talk about this. Absolutely, one of my absolute favorite scenes is when the ice cream guy mocks Maya, tells him to go away, and then Kingpin gets out of his car and beats the crap out of the ice cream man, and then Maya shows up and starts kicking him too. I thought that was, man, and that was in the trailer, so we knew it was coming. Still just brutal, and I think that scene told you everything you needed to know. The skate rink fight scene is 100% on there. Let's see. I think Biscuit's trying to chase the train, specifically in the truck, was very funny. I liked that. And then I think the fourth scene has to be that emotional scene with her and her grandma when she's talking about all the generations and everything that was going on, because of how silent everything was. It was a very emotional moment without a ton of narration or anything like that. When they did narrate it, it was kind of going back and showing all the previous ancestors and stuff like that. But the way that entire scene played out, super emotional. The tears felt real, and I think that was executed really well.
Those were good scenes. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier roller rink battle with Rob Zombie. I did love Scully and the tourists. I thought that was hilarious. It made me laugh. And then especially when like Biscuit came in to help. And so Echo on the train, I mentioned that one. And then Daredevil versus Echo. I'm a sucker for a Marvel hero versus villainous sort of battle. So those are mine. But I already knew people are going to be disappointed that Daredevil is in it for such a short time and right away. But it's great news. There's a Daredevil series plus the Defender spinoff. You can watch Daredevil if you need more.
And shout out to the moment when the bomb blows up in New York. That was pretty cool scene.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a surprise.
So I thought that was well done too.
Yeah, because I mean, at the time I didn't really know what she had done, so I was surprised. Bryan, that's it for Echo. But Marvel fans, what's next up? Is it? Oh my gosh, is it Deadpool? Is that next up?
It's either Daredevil Born Again, depending on when they release that, or Deadpool 3 on July 25th.
Good stuff still to come. I'm on board with this new direction for Marvel, where, like I said, quality over quantity. So keep it going and give this show a chance. Well, that concludes this episode. We thank you, fellow fans, for uniting with us. For those listeners who want to get in touch with the show, please do so. We are on Instagram, X, Twitter, Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Message us, and we'll read it out on here and hopefully answer your question or read your thoughts. Thank you again, and listen to us wherever you check out your podcast. Till we unite again, fans, remember, make skating great again.
Kingpin thanks you for your loyalty.